Too logical, you'll never get anything done. If you're too emotional, you'll never get anything done, and you get thrown all over the place. You've got to learn how to access your heart and your mind during this journey. You've got to know when to be logical. And then you've got to realize that when the logic runs out and it's time to do something great, that you can logically see how it won't work. It's time to dig deep into your heart and find the faith to press in, to get in there and fight. And when you've ran as far as you can go, and you found the edge of your physical ability, and then it's time to dig deep and find the elements in your heart and access those emotions. Very interesting how you're required to oscillate between the two to make it. The spot where your mind is like asking you to stop. And then when you get there, that's when the heart kicks in. That's when you start to be like, okay, let's go. That's when you find yourself. That's where you create yourself. If you're not in there though, and you're not getting inoculated to that stress, and this is why we push ourselves to that stress in training, when life punches you in the face, you live in a glass house, there won't be anything there. Worse yet, you'll never learn to trust and believe in yourself, so you'll never get started, and you'll stay in your mind, coming up with safe problems and good reasons why it won't work, and you'll never get anything done. And that's another type of death. You're either growing or you're going, baby. Everything's moving to entropy. Everything's moving towards extinction or progress. You're actually pushing for is the accumulation of a bunch of good decisions, like a decade's worth of good decisions. So many people are playing for the shortcut for the microwave success or microwave result. The reality is, it's a test. The wisdom that created this world and this kind of framework that we live in knows that the most valuable thing is for you to become the being that deserves what it is you want. And so it sets before you a path that if you're able to be courageous enough and choose the righteous path, the path that'll put you in right standing with the principles that created this reality of progress and seeking to be yourself so you can give yourself, you'll get those things. But there's no shortcut. There's no way around the discipline standing between you and what it is you want. Earning something day by day, whether it's financially, mentally, emotionally, relationally, or physically, gives you so much more value than the actual goal and the end result itself. And this is why, that's when you're cooking with tartar sauce. This is why you want to play for the long game, because consistency and the ability to make a long chain of consistent, good decisions turns out to be a fortress. It's very interesting because you'll find yourself at these crossroads many times where it's like, you want to get started. Is there any logical way for you to win? Most people look for logical ways to win before they can get started, and so they never do. I've gone as far as I can go. I've gone as far as is reasonable. What do? That's when you've got to dig deep and you've got to find something within your heart to keep going, your reasons why. You will find, if you get on the path, that so much of what you do must be emotional. So much of what you do must be logical. You need the emotion to get you in motion, the energy to get you in motion, the emotion. You need the logic to execute strategically. But then when that logic runs out, you need the emotion to push through to something supernatural. The emotion will help you execute with power. The logic will drive you to come up with the strategy, the emotion, the faith, all of it, which is essentially the synergy of these two things, is what drives you to do great things. The reason you get so much opposition is because when you begin, everyone logically looks. They know who you are. They don't see who you must become or believe that you can become that person, but they can logically only see the way down, the fall, and because they love you, they try to protect you from that. However, you need more than logic on this path, and you will need more than logic many times on the path to your own greatness, transcendence, evolution. Men hide in their logic. They come up with all these logical good reasons as to why they can and can't, that are really just fear changing faces and changing masks. It's really just fear shape-shifting to keep you stagnant and really help you to avoid rejection, which is what ultimately all of us are afraid of. Represents death on many levels. It's another video. But as for those who are more emotion-based, you'll realize that your emotions will betray you. Your emotions will do the exact same thing if you listen to them too much. And so I feel like maturity and evolution and being the best form of yourself is learning how to listen to both of these, entertain both of these at the right times, and benefit from a synergy of logic and emotion. That's the game, man. The goal is like a sweet side effect to who you become on the journey. You start to realize that you become more formidable. More formidable. If you're not a formidable human, a human that says, if you cross me, or that can stand for something, has the strength to say, you're gonna pay a cost. I matter. I'm strong enough to matter. Without the strength that comes from that, you're just a casualty. First and foremost, it's about becoming strong enough to be formidable, to be strong enough to stand for something and have it matter that you stand for it because you have some strength internally, mentally, physically, spiritually. You confronting the chaos of potential present in the future. Are you confronting the future and the chaotic nature of what can happen to the best of your ability to bring some simulation, some version of order to it, bringing some version of a light to the future that is chaos? Anything can come out of the future. Are you courageously confronting the potential of the future in order to deliberately construct some type of order that will better your life? Gotta rub some Jordan Peterson on it, man. It's so good. This is the question you should be asking yourself. Not okay for you to be a weak loser and let all of the beautiful, necessary for the betterment of humanity, necessary potential that you have go to waste. It is an ethical crime against humanity for you to waste all of the potential that you have inside of you. It kills me. There's no understanding man's indifference toward himself. Napoleon Hill. The world needs you to become who you were created to be and unlock your potential. The more human potential, the closer we get to who and what we were created to be. On a macro level and on a micro level, on an individual level and on the level of humanity. It's not okay for you to just let them hypnotize you and watch Lost and let your potential just pass you by. It may be comfortable, but I promise you, you will feel it. You'll feel it after your ability to execute on it is gone. And this is a tragedy. That's why I thank God I got blown up in Iraq, thought I was dead, and realized I need to be deliberate with this thing. It's the most beautiful way to live. When you become strong enough, you will learn that when you're strong enough, then you get to choose whether you're good or evil. Okay? Before you acquire the strength, you're good because you have to be. You're good because you don't have the power to do anything really. You don't have the power to be evil. Do you see what I'm saying? Once you become strong enough, that's when we find out whether you're good or bad, or you're really capable of doing extreme good and extreme bad.